Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. So I get a lot of people asking me to actually explain or describe my trading strategy and style, and I try and sort of give indications that sort of very much a trend following or looking at multiple time frames. So I thought the easiest way to do is go through a trade breakdown of one I took last night, which ended up being quite successful, and it was a 3.5 to 1 reward to risk. So it actually was quite a nice trade, and I'll go through the breakdown of it now. So we start off looking at the higher time frame. This was a trade on the FTSE, and this is the 1 hour chart. So we can see that actually price was making higher highs and higher lows. It was a nice uptrend, and towards the end it was starting to, I thought, start to run out of steam. And also, being this is an index and is after the close of the FTSE session, we also look at the US 30 to get an indication as well. And we can see from this one as well, the price was starting to taper off and lose some momentum. And as we can see, as the session started to go on, we started to break down through the previous lows. If you zoom in a little bit more, we started to get a bit of support, and it was breaking those and also then coming back and retesting. Again, looking on a 15-minute chart, we can see that a lot clearer. So we can see as price was coming down, it was starting to make a level of support at 7,550. Once the price did break down through, it came up to retest and therefore confirmed that we had a level of now resistance in there, and price was starting to trend down. Also looking at the other main indicator, which is RSI, price was consistently below 50 and showing therefore momentum is actually starting to come down. But my entry was actually on a 5-minute chart. So I was watching the 5-minute chart and again could see that price was starting to move down. We can see we were getting lower lows and lower highs, confirming that we're in a downtrend. Now, when I entered the trade, it was a market. I didn't place any orders, and this was my entry point at, I think that was 7,530 pretty much. And that was just an entry at the market, and I just did a sell. Now here I had a 10-point stop loss, so just above this sort of shaded area, and at no point did it go anywhere closer. Literally once it started going, momentum started coming down. So I think the key thing with this trade is that as the momentum was starting to gather in the short selling, we can see the momentum was there. We can see that the price action was starting to form lower lows and lower highs, forming new downtrends. And therefore it was quite a relatively straightforward trade to get into. The risk I put on it was only about 1/4% on this particular account. So it wasn't a massive actual, if it went against me, it wasn't going to be a massive catastrophe, and obviously the reward was actually looking quite good. Now actually managing the trade, as soon as it got into about 10 points of profit, I actually moved the stop loss to break even. So you can see once the stop loss I put in here at a break even point, as the price was starting to come down, we're starting to get a bit more consistency coming in. We're starting to see the price action falling and falling, and again making sort of lower highs and lower lows. Now we did get a bit of a spike coming towards the end of the session, and obviously what was key here as well is that the actual movement was obviously quite a lot lower than what was seen in the previous hours leading up to this. So again, price was moving quite slowly. Once we had this big spike up here, I managed to again move my stop loss to just be in profit. So once price spiked up, again it reversed quite quickly and came back down, moved my stop loss into just above that previous high, and again just let it trail and hit take profit, which came in just towards the end of the actual trading session at the end of the US time. So that trade was running for about 3 hours in total. It wasn't a major stress. I just put the trade on and just left it, and it was a 35-point take profit, which hit very consistently. We can see the price did break down a little bit more below that one and then started to come back up just as the US session closed. And typically I wouldn't hold those type of trades overnight, because we can see any sorts of volatility that the markets could reverse quite easily going into the Asia session and again the start of the London session the following day. So if I hadn't taken the take profit point out and actually closed the trade out, then I would have actually manually closed out for whatever profit was running in, or even whatever loss at that particular point. But again, it was quite consistent as I moved the stop loss down to a break even and then about 5 points profit. Again, it was a no risk trade. I could have actually let it run if I needed to, but luckily it hit take profit quite quickly. So as you can see, for me, my trading style and strategy on that particular trade was just looking for a continuation of the momentum, looking for shorts as the hourly chart had changed direction, confirmation on the 15-minute chart. We got some areas of structure and some supports and resistance lines coming in, And again, the entry on the 5 minute, again with a take profit just below the low of the day. So I hope you've enjoyed that quick recap of a trade I took and give you a bit more inspiration to go and play similar trades or develop your own strategies and your own styles. So as always, I'll see you again next video. Thanks for watching. Cheers.